So people have been asking me for weeks if I'm going to cover the reveals. Now, I didn't know what that meant, but I assumed it meant there were big deal reveals happening that I didn't hear about. Turns out, it meant nothing. There weren't that many reveals since the last time I did one of these. I don't really know what people were on about. But I've done my best to scrape together a list of things to make a video on. So let's make lemonade out of this nonsense. First up, let's talk about the Bumblebee RC, because this might actually be one of the things people were talking about when they wanted me to cover reveals again. I'm really fuzzy on the timeline of what happened, because to me, it seemed like in one day, concept art of what she was supposed to look like in the movie dropped, and then on the very same day, we had renders of her toy, and some dude made a video about the actual figure in hand, and I have no idea who that dude is. I can say that from pictures, his hands made the figure look tiny, but this still all looks quite good. And I mean, like, damn, that's still a really wide backpack, but that's pretty reasonable compared to the Ursi. Honestly, this is looking promising. It might be the first good RC we've gotten in years, and they did give it multiple shots since 2019. Though all of them were some level of complete abject failure, but this actually gives me hope for once. Like, this is not visibly terrible from a distance or a red figure, so that's good news right there. The alt mode is interesting, though from the top-down view, it does look kinda bad. I have to question why they put the render in shadow. Like, why would you do that? It only makes the figure look worse. It also looks backwards. Like, the concept art clearly has a front with a windshield and everything, but then you got the render and it either has two guns pointing straight back, which would make no sense, or this drives in the reverse direction of the windshield, which also makes no sense. Next up, because we're on the train of thought of the Bumblebee Studio Series figures, a bunch of pictures of the actual figures in plastic and not just renders dropped, and two of them stood out to me. The first one is Ratchet, where my hypothesis that the chest is going to fold over everything else seems to have been confirmed. And I love how in even these promotional shots, which are meant to make the figure look its best, you can see the plastic is horribly color mismatched. I'm not even mad that the rear where the tire attaches doesn't look like anything else on the figure. Also, is that a blast effect port? I'm more weirded out by the fact that the paint on the chest window is so thin, the blue of the plastic bleeds right through it, making the front of the vehicle mode stand out brutally. And then I want to point out the sound wave. While the alt mode is still raw, unfiltrated bullshit, there is just something about the look of this in real plastic that makes it seem oddly appealing. This is going to be some stupid simple transformation though. Like the shoulders go up to the head, the legs bend, and the knees and the feet cover the forearms at his sides. So yeah, this is going to suck and achieve nothing. But I'd be lying if I said that these pictures didn't make me want this figure more. Faux forming confirmed, and this makes it even more ridiculous considering the faux forming piece is literally just hiding behind the real one in robot mode. Why Soundwave face look so sad? Next up, we got another announced Beast Wars re-release. This time, it's Tigatron, and this just brings a smile to my face. There has always been something so damn pleasing about the big Catboy's colors, even if he is just a flat redeco of Cheetor, and the head has not been retooled at all. I love how the photographer in this picture extended and dropped the cat head as low as it could go in order to get a clear shot of the robot noggin. This isn't the normal photographer idiocy we're used to seeing here. This is actually remarkably competent. He realized that the cat head was ridiculously placed and ruining his shot, and he knew just how to remedy that. We just talked about the red figures, so it seems like the perfect time to talk about one I'm actually excited for. Knockout. These pictures do actually look really good, and you know what? For once, something from the red line might actually be coming into existence near completely unparalleled. For the first time ever, the red figure may actually be the definitive best one. Cause no joke, those original Prime versions of Knockout suck loud enough you can hear it from the next state. I don't have any of them, and I can see the stank wafting off of those through pictures. So what this has going for it is that it looks by far better than any other figures of this character, but it also looks better than most of the other red figures. I mean, his neck looks like it's probably going to be crap, and he doesn't seem to have an ab crunch, so where is our money going, Redline? But you can see double-jointed elbows in this picture, and while I've been impressed by the incompetence of the Redline before, those have to bend more than a 90, right? Honestly, this thing is looking pretty stiff in the chest, and I don't know how much those knees are going to bend looking at this, but it's gotta be better than most of the line, right? They have to improve at some point, right? Honestly, this line is so stupid, and it should probably focus on making figures of characters who didn't have alt modes in the first place. Like, why aren't there any human characters in this line? So let's move from the red line to something that looks like it might actually be worse. So yet again, perfect timing, since I just explained to you all in the Tarn video what second-party figures are, and Hasbro is putting out some second-party figures that look exactly like the red line. But worse. Okay, my first concern is, why are these $50? They look terrible! Second concern, these look like they're fucking bricks, why are they $50? This is the same company selling those shitty reaction figures. Who's paying the prices of those? Who's paying $18 for those turgid piles of manure? If those were like $8 and they sucked as bad as they do, I'd understand the novelty of it, but they're way too much, and these look like they will also be way too much. None of these pictures give me any confidence that these will be able to bend more than 10 degrees at each limb. Why would you choose to make this? Why would you choose to make something so outdated and then charge so much money for them? How big are these even going to be? The boxes look like absolute trash. I think the graphic designer might have died after he settled on the shape of the boxes, and then the company just used what little work he completed anyways without realizing that none of it was done yet. Why is it all of these non-transforming figures look like bars of soap? This looks like a damn bath toy. You sincerely want us to pay $50 for a Prime that looks like this? These better be so much better than they look, because if not, this is going to be yet another failing, floundering, non-transforming line done in the name of this franchise. Gotta hand it to Optimus, I do like his style when it comes to the accessories. I mean, he's rocking the surfboard, got in the basketball so he can dunk on fools, he has Spike, which looks nothing like Spike. Why? Spike has brown pants and a tan shirt, what is this yellow and aqua nonsense? Okay, so he comes with the Matrix, which, once again, we've had way too many of these in the last few years. But where is this going to go? His chest clearly doesn't open up. The axe is not going to attach the same way the hands do, it seems, and that leaves me confused. And lastly, what the hell is this supposed to be? Then we have the G2 Megatron, and I just have so many questions. What are these heads? This one clearly has an ab crunch, and those elbows look like they can at least really move, but the shoulders sure don't. And all of these stand so rigidly in the renders, I can't imagine anything other than crap posing. Why do these other two guns have actual handles, and then this one just has a regular peg? Then we've got Tarn, and how is it that I just talked about a non-transforming Tarn, and it looked about 1 billion times better than this? Why does he have this stupid fat little baby head? Why do his thighs look like they bent like Play-Doh to get in this position? I do put some respect on them for dropping us a nickel. I may have to pick this up solely for her, even if she doesn't transform. Then you got Wreck-Gar, and what is that? What is that? What is this? He's got his axe, then he's got like a knockoff of his axe, he's got a new document icon, and then a pause button in pink. Why? Also, he's missing the spikes on his left side for no other reason other than you were supposed to put the shields on them. But if it's incomplete without them, then why make his shields removable at all? I am struck once again by the fact that we just got a Wreck-Gar who looks perfect, infinitely better than this one, who also poses better and transforms. What is the point of this? Then we've got Croximus Prime, and honestly, I'm kind of feeling this one here. Once again, this is kind of the area figures like these should be occupying. Oddball things that they can nail that nobody else is going to try. Honestly, it would not surprise me for this to be their best seller. It's got the arm tower, and that's great. The Optimus head, though, is a little weirdly gory. I don't know why the gun can detach when there's nothing else for it to do. Also, totally feeling this Grimlock. Apron? Bow tie? Yes, you just made yourselves a sale. What? No! Why? Why again? Did the world really need 2 immobile wheelie accessories pulling the splits? They're also doing an awful-looking Bombshell. Fucking Bludgeon, who in this lame pose is easily showing off the most joint range of any of these figures by far, so that's a little horrifying. Then Bonsaitron? Fucking Bonsaitron? Okay, I'm starting to see what they're doing now at least. I mean, I think it's a bad idea, but they're trying to be the new Action Masters. Why? Why would you want to be that? Oh hey guys, you know that line from the early 90s of Transformers that everyone hated? Let's do that again, but not meaningfully better. These look like they borderline pose the same, and they look exactly the same. There was so much room for these figures to grow and be better than they had been, and they just duplicated them. Hindsight is 20/20, but you don't need it to see that this line is going to flop. These are what Action Masters probably should have been back in 1990, but not in the year of our Lord 2021. The figure's reaction is based on were actually popular back in the day. The Action Masters were never popular, and it's too late to do this crap again. This is an astonishingly bad idea. I kind of commend it. Well, let's talk about one last non-transforming figure, and yet again, it's related to my videos from last week. Flame Toys is making an IDW Cyclonus. It's a model kit, and I'm not big on model kits as I don't really like making the stuff myself, but yeah, I need this one. Ain't no adequate representation of this character out there, and this does look badass. God, just everything I've done in the last 2 weeks is connected to this video, because Iron Factory is releasing their take on a Legend Scale Leo Kaiser literally just after I tell you what Iron Factory is. I will say that Leo Kaiser does have a pretty cool look, but that team of dudes are in the running for the title of worst named characters of all time. Also, I'm willing to bet that there is a massive amount of parts forming going on here. Lastly, Magic Square announced their Hook and Long Haul, and holy crap, this is the first Hook I've ever seen with the correct looking legs. Like, that's actually what they're supposed to look like, and honestly, it turns out better than I expected. Every other company goes out of their way to change the design of these, so this is interesting to say the least. Long Haul's legs look pretty good too. Nice to see for once they aren't all scooped out like they usually do. These look like they can actually support some weight. It's pretty cool that Hook's going to have a rotating crane, and that's something that had to have been hard to design in, and the crane is even the right color. People almost always get that wrong. They usually just make it green like the rest of him. There's clearly going to be some heavy parts forming for this set too, but I mean, it's Devastator. I don't think even MMC could design one of these with no parts forming, but they sure could make it as minimal as possible. Anyways, yeah, this has been a weird one. I can't help but feel bad for the company putting out those Action Master revivals. I mean, kind of screw them because they're overcharging those reaction figures already, and they're way overcharging these too, but they look like they're getting outplayed by the Red Line when they're a second party doing the same thing as Hasbro. I mean, Hasbro has already well and truly poisoned the waters on this, but they're also charging less, and their figures seem like they're probably more articulated. These new things do look like they're getting some pretty good accessories, but is that really going to convince anyone to get them? Cause if not, these things are dead in the water. The rest of the stuff I looked at looks great though. Really excited for basically anything else. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know you know what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.